Hey, welcome to another episode. I'm here with Jenni Jackson from Flourish Marketing, and we're building wealth. We're controlling wealth and protecting wealth, and we're going to be talking about the 7 steps for a plan, a marketing plan, branding, all that stuff. And so Jenny's going to take it away and talk a little bit about herself and talk about these 7 steps.
Thanks, David. I'm Jenny with Flourish Marketing. So we specialize in working with small and growing businesses. And so one of the things that we do frequently is help people just determine what they should do to market themselves. We've got 7 steps here on how we create a marketing plan for a new client. And so I'll go through those quickly. So first thing we want to do is we want to get to know the client. If you're a client doing this for yourself, then you want to get to know what your company is all about. What's your mission? What's your vision statement? What are your goals for your company? What are you trying to do? Who are you trying to serve? So that's the first thing. When I sit down with a new client, we spend probably half an hour just getting to know the customer inside and out. And so that is step one, is just getting to know the client, or I'll say client overview. So hopefully that makes sense. After that, we set a goal. Step two is we want to set a goal for marketing. Sometimes it's overall marketing, ongoing long-term plans for a company that just wants to grow, or they want a different kind of client than they're getting. But sometimes we have a specific event or a specific deadline. The example that we've been talking about is a company that's doing a launch, and so we're working towards a specific date rather than an ongoing marketing plan. So it's really important to know what your time frame is. Is this an ongoing thing? Is there a deadline? What you're wanting out of this marketing campaign. Goal setting is the second thing. The third thing that we want to talk about with a client, and this is before we even start talking about what kinds of things we're going to do, is we want to talk about budget. Conventional wisdom says 10% ish of your revenue should be spent on marketing. We use that as a guideline, but not everyone that we work with has 10% of their budget to put towards marketing. We talk about a realistic number that might be a little bit of a stretch, but won't put anyone out of business, and what is comfortable for the client. Setting a budget is really important. Not everyone just has a pile of money sitting around waiting to spend on marketing. Once we've got that, we know the client, we know the budget, and we know the goals, we're going to start talking about what kinds of activities we do. And there are 3 main categories of things that we're going to recommend. Most people just go straight to digital solutions like social media or Google ads, or maybe they're going to talk about some other kinds of advertising or email marketing or things like that. Those things are great, but I also, almost every marketing plan I put together has something that's face to face. So whether that's networking or whether that's trade shows or events, I think everyone needs that face to face component in their marketing plan. And also, we need something on paper. If it's a flyer that you hand out or hang on a bulletin board, or a direct mail postcard, or maybe it's a brochure or something like that. Every marketing plan, I think, needs a digital component, a face to face component, and an on paper component if you're doing a full plan. So that's activities. There might be 3 activities that we recommend, there might be 20 or anything in between. That stage, we're just going to brainstorm everything we possibly can think of to meet the company's needs or meet the goals that we have set and hit the right clients that we want to hit. So that's activities. Once we've got a list, now we start narrowing things down. We put prices next to everything. We decide how much everything's going to cost. We start getting quotes. We start creating a budget. And then if anything needs to be cut because it doesn't fit in the budget, that is the stage where things start narrowing down. Maybe we can't afford TV and radio, so we pick one. Maybe we can't afford to be on 6 digital platforms, so we narrow it down to 2 or 3, for example. So we start making some hard choices, sometimes to fit into the budget, and sometimes just to fit into the calendar and who we're going to talk to. Not everyone's hanging out on TikTok, for example. So you want to think about your audience and who's going to be where. So once you've done that, this is the really critical part, and most people skip it, is you take all those activities and you put them on a calendar. It doesn't matter unless you've scheduled it, because especially if you've got a long time frame and you go, wow, I've got months to do this, all of a sudden it's 2 weeks before your launch or 2 weeks before your event that you're trying to promote and you haven't done anything. We take all the activities that make the cut for budget, we put them on a calendar, and then the final step is we assign a person to each one of these steps. So if you've got a team, that makes your life easier. Not you don't have to do everything yourself. But if you don't, then we're going to put names by everything. And if it seems like it's too much, that's where we talk about whether you get support or not. There's two reasons people will hire help for their marketing. One is because they don't have money. The other is because they maybe don't have knowledge or time. And so if you're missing anything that you need to make sure that your marketing plan gets implemented, that last step in assigning tasks is where you would pull in help if you need it. That's really it. It's none of this is difficult or none of this is rocket science, but we want to make sure that we're following all those steps when we're creating a marketing plan for someone.
It makes sense. That's a great primer and a great just like first steps. And so just knowing the process, where you're
Mhm.
going, starting with the end in mind. And I like that DARB, right? The due date required by.
Yep.
I know that we don't like acronyms around here, but I just used one.
You can like acronyms all you want. But yeah, I think it's important. Most people come to me with, hey, my nephew said I should be on Instagram. So they start with, I need someone to help me with Instagram. And what we do is we back them up 4 steps and we talk about who are you trying to reach? What are your goals? And what's your budget? And then we talk about where we want to be showing up. I think that thought process is really important, especially when you're dealing with a smaller budget.
So starting with the end in mind,
Of course.
right? This where are you gonna go? How are you gonna get there? Type of thing. When you take a
Right.
trip, it's like all those things are important.
Right.
Yes.
I think hopefully it is comforting to know that it's not nearly as complicated as it seems, but you do have to start at the beginning instead of in the middle.
That and just as you outline this and knowing the steps involved and what you talked about the activities, and I'm really stuck on these activities right now because
Right.
this is how I got introduced to you because I wanted to slow pour coffee for to buy a gift card and then it's just right down the street and then I saw the flyer for the networking group in which you have a networking group every week there and you have a whole
Yep.
networking thing that we want to talk about in a few minutes, but like it was on a paper flyer and I'm like that was interesting and I like that because I've been so focused on digital bring up the face to face and the paper and how important it is and how even like Google and Amazon and whatever they send postcards, they send physical
Yep.
mail, right? That's still
You
used,
do.
that's not outdated. You go to Costco, you get coupon books and people like at Costco, oh we don't know when we're going to do away with this, everything's going digital. No, it's not. Like paper
No,
is still important.
it is, but it's also not. I think now we need a combination of both. We want to do our research online and fairly anonymous, but when it comes time to buy, we want a personal touch. We want to
Yes.
know that someone's there to take care of us. And sometimes that means it's a flyer on the wall. Not always, but sometimes it does. And because that seems a lot more personal than just a random ad that's coming to you through social media or on Google or wherever. I actually read something this morning about how you get Gen Zs as a marketer, and they are unique in that they need that combination of both. Is they need to see something on digital, they want to do all their research, but once they're ready, they want a personal touch. They want to know that what they're buying is for them and not for someone else.
That reminds me of high tech and high touch.
Yep.
And then obviously blending in the personal touch. So it's not only touch and tech, but personalized and it's customized. It's to me,
Yes.
not just, I'm not fitting inside of a box. A person.
And
Yes.
technology nowadays can personalize things, but you need a human touch on top of that, which I think is makes things challenging because I think a lot of marketers want to just set it and not think about it anymore. They want something automated that's just going to drive people to their door. But what happens if there's no one being driven to the marketing in the first place? And that's sometimes where that personal touch and networking comes in. Is you can have the best marketing funnel in the world, but you got to dump people into the top of it. And that personal relationship is sometimes how you do that.
Because there's so much noise, so
Mm-hmm.
many dings and tweets and this all the stuff that comes into our phones or the TV or
Right.
mail. But having that human referral and how much referrals are so important. It's like that trust, putting that trust in
Yes.
somebody else. That's
Yep.
great.
Yeah. And for example, you put your phone on airplane mode before we started so that it wouldn't ding in the 12 minutes we've been on here so far. We have constant barrage of messages coming in, and we have to somehow filter which ones we're going to listen to.
To find out more information about Jenni Jackson, Flourish Marketing LLC, please visit her website or email her at jenny@flourishmktg.com, as you see on the screen or in the show notes. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Look forward to bringing you more great content like this. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.